Hello, I'm the Jersey Connoisseur, and today I'll be analyzing the match between Arsenal and Manchester City. Without further ado, let's get into it. And first of all, I would like to apologize for taking a couple days uh, to post this analysis, as I'm still in mourning of this match, and particularly, in my opinion, this is one of the worst defeats in Arsenal history, and it should be treated very seriously as to where this club is at the moment. And particularly, as I start with my analysis, I had to acknowledge the lineup going into this game was appalling, and it was apparent that they were aware they were going to get destroyed, and they had to put out a very defensive-minded game plan, as they put in 5 defenders in the back, all of whom were really have not had a good start of the season, have either not had a good start of the season or have had a pretty poor track record. Case in point is Sead Kolasinac, whom, as much as I am a big proponent of his, and I have been ever since he came to Arsenal, was a big part of the reason why Schalke got relegated in the Bundesliga. And he's starting against Manchester City. It's not a good thing to see. And I think it was apparent how poor their defense was as we look at some examples here. As you can see, how much space is in between the ball and the Manchester City players. Manchester City players received so much space that they could have grazed cattle in. It was unbelievable. And of course, with their talent on display, Gabriel Jesus and Jack Grealish, and particularly the first goal was a cause of it not being goal side. Rob Holding, that was Gundogan was Rob Holding's man, and he failed in that sense. Not to mention the second goal, where Cedric just stood there and not only him, but the whole team stood there with and just let Manchester City score. And where the ball went by 2 men, it's unacceptable, and I think that those players should be held accountable for it. But then again, there's no one else really better to replace them. And as the transfer window comes to a close on Tuesday, there's no point in getting my hopes up. And how can I not discuss the entire team without pointing out their attack was dreadful, and not to the fault of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as he started, but and even with the addition of Martin Odegaard, there's a discrepancy between having Odegaard and Smith Rowe on the pitch at the same time, as both of them are playmakers, but they usually play the same role. So when those two are playing together, they don't really mix well. So they need to find a way to have those two play well together. And don't even get me started on Granit Xhaka. Another reckless 2-foot challenge that, no surprise, resulted in a red card, and he'll miss the next match. And it was a comedy of errors for Arsenal on Saturday. I can't even put it into words. It's embarrassing. And you could say that they had a difficult start of the season. Injuries that Mikel Arteta keeps putting that in, but they've had all summer to train. This is a team that has played together for at least a year now. They had to start putting in the results, and hopefully they get a relatively easy match against Norwich City next week. Although they could be in the same quality as Norwich City, as Norwich City also lost 5-0 to Manchester City. Although I think that's more of a sign of Manchester City holding back against a weaker team, a visibly weaker team compared to Arsenal, who is a famous top 6 team, if that team is still a thing, because it's really only a top 3 anymore, or top 4. So overall, I mean, I'll be happy to see Thomas Partey come back. If there was one silver lining from this game, it would be Bern Leno, once again, spectacular. And he kept the score from being even more lopsided. But all the players in Arsenal need to have a long look in the mirror after this game. It's just it's there's no excuse anymore. And Mikel Arteta, the time is ticking for him to do something. And as Mesut Ozil tweeted, "Trust the process." His tweet is and played in fun and irony to the whole process behind Arteta's reign, and it might soon be coming to an end. While in the second half, they did make some adjustments to subside Man City's attack. It didn't prove effective as Man City ended up scoring another couple goals to lengthen their lead. And overall, so while that loss may have been hard to take, and I was I was over optimistic going into this game, thinking they may have had a chance, as Manchester City didn't look that threatening going into the start of the season. I could vehemently say now that I was mistaken, and it's on to the next one. And hopefully, of all the players that hopefully they can get a rest in during the international break and come back re-energized and focused on a large contingent of games coming up. Anyway, leave a like and subscribe to see more of my analysis to Arsenal's games. And join me next time as Arsenal take on Norwich City. Arrivederci.